You know what I find hilarious? Assassins in fiction are always stunningly elitist. You take any two assassins from any fictional work, and both of them are bound to take issue with each other's methods. It's like every author has a different opinion on what makes an effective assassin, and expresses it in the most catty way possible. What I'm getting at is I will pay $20 to anyone who writes a version of Mean Girls where all of the characters are hired killers. Hello and welcome to the Book Cafe, where we complain about you not having read our favorite fantasy books until we've convinced you to buy them. If you're a first-time watcher, consider subscribing, and if you're a veteran, welcome back. A couple of videos ago, we reviewed Brent Week's The Black Prism, and given that I had another book by him on my bookshelf, I figured this week would be a good time for it. So today we are reviewing The Way of Shadows. The basic plot is as follows. A street urchin meets famous assassin, decides that famous assassin is super badass, wants to be super badass. So he convinces the famous assassin to take him on as an apprentice. The less simple version of the plot is about as easy to describe as modern American politics to a European peasant. About half the characters end up double-crossing the other half and each other, and only like 3 of them actually know what's going on at any given time. It's an extraordinarily complex book, and Weeks does a surprising job of keeping all of those plates juggling at once. It can be a little bit hard to follow, but given the nature of what's going on, I think that makes some sense. I think this book wants to be grittier than it is. It feels like it's trying to be the first Law trilogy and doesn't quite manage it. But that's not a bad thing, because regardless of the grittiness of this book, it's still good. The main characters are a little bit flat, but the writing and the plot carry the book as far as it needs to go, and the side characters are really interesting. I particularly like Mama Kay, the Oracle and his friends, and Jarl. They're all complex and interesting in a lot of fun ways. When it comes to the Warrens, which is the really poor place in the city, you get a really good sense of setting. Beyond that, it gets kind of murky. You don't always know where things are happening. But that's not particularly a loss, because the area with the most character is the Warrens. I particularly like the way that this book dealt with prophecy. It was very clever. There's one character who can see the future, and he wants a particular future to come about. And in order to maximize the chances of getting that, he has to limit the information he can share. So what most authors would use as a kickoff to a mythic quest, which in this case would be a mistake, Weeks manages to use as a method of intrigue. And intrigue is what defines this book. This book is a bit overdosed on cliches, but it's Weeks' first book. By The Black Prism, he's mostly grown out of that tendency, so it's understandable. Overall, I would give this book a buy it used. It's definitely something worth reading. It's fun, it's enjoyable. It's not the absolute top of my charts, but it doesn't need to be. Did you read The Way of Shadows? Do you disagree with me? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to show us by clicking the like button. Remember to click here to subscribe, and here to watch more videos like this from the Book Cafe. I've got a few surprises for you coming up this weekend, so be sure to tune in. Till then, read good fantasy.